Okay, I have been looking forward to this like crazy, and I know some of you may have been too. So it's finally time to swatch all the rest of the CHROMADADDY hair dye colors. Obviously, it took me a second. I have 3 different boxes here. So yeah, I'm super excited. Oh my gosh. So just in case this is your first time here, I have a part 1 to this video where we unboxed a huge hair dye haul from CHROMADADDY Hair Color. It is just an awesome brand. He's been a hairstylist for over 20 plus years. He's just a super intelligent and creative colorist that has literally built his indie brand from the ground up. He puts so much love and passion and intensity into each and every color, and I highly recommend that you check out part 1 to this video that I'll link below, as well as his Instagram and other socials, and of course his website. If there is anything that you see here today that you like, he does have a discount code. It's Jane Doe for 15% off. It's not a commission thing. He literally set it up just to give you guys, you know, a little bit of a break. And I just think that that's so awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys what we have that we're going to swatch really quick. So we have one of his newer ones, which is the Silver Vice Pearly Silver. I love this like packaging he has now. It's see-through. You can see all that awesome, like it's like glittery. And this is in collab with @Tawny.Cosmo. I'm pretty pumped about this. Part 1 of this video goes into a lot more detail. Anything that I missed in the first video or, you know, comments that we've gone over, I'm going to try and cover in this video. So if I miss anything, comment below. But this is vegan, cruelty-free, no ammonia, fragrance, gluten, silicone, paraben, or phosphates, or PPD. It's semi-permanent hair color. He does have some that stick more to the hair, like his forever pinks, I think is what he calls them. So yeah, super pumped about this. I've seen it on his Instagram already. It looks so pretty. And then we have our CHROMADADDY Peach Please, which I used on my hair already, but I ran out and I'm not quite done with my hair transformation. And so just in case, I wanted to make sure I ordered another one of this. I really like it. So yeah, so that's those 2. I also ordered a CHROMADADDY hat, and look, his partner, like they hand package everything. CHROMADADDY hand fills and mixes all of his colors. Please check out his Instagram. It's super awesome. But yeah, that's handwritten, and I just think that's so sweet that they make sure to let you know that shipping's separate. They have the hats in all different colors, and I'm just super excited. Same with this one, a little handwritten note. They really care, I'm telling you. And if there ever is an issue or any questions, or you know, you get a product and you're like, oh, maybe it's like not filled enough, I don't know, whatever the issue might be, just go ahead and contact him. You know, his website, I'm sure there's emails or ways that way, or Instagram instant message. But yeah, if you have an issue, he's very good at like trying to figure that out with you and making it right, just so you know. Oh my gosh, look at this one. It's the Vintage Peach Toasty Tangerine. I believe one of you said you've already ordered this, and I don't know if you got to try it yet, but I'm super excited. Look at this. Stunning. So fun. And this is in collab with @Vintage Peach Beauty. Isn't this so awesome? All right, here's our other one. This is our Audacity Sunflower Yellow. This looks so sick. Love this. Speaking of yellow, in my other video, I mentioned that he has the CMY colors where you can use those 3 colors to create other colors. It's like a whole thing. I do want to do a video on it for you guys. But on his Instagram, he just posted that one of the awesome people that he collabed with did a color class. And so like he perfected them even more and made them more true to tone. And just there's a whole science behind it. Super awesome. He just, bam, got it done. So I made sure to go and ask him if those were going to be available soon. And so yes, those will be available soon to purchase. But it literally, he just created them. I'll make sure to pick those up when the time comes. But here's our other one in collab with Tawny Cosmo. This goes with like the silver. These are both Tawny Cosmo. Check this out. It is a pink. Miami Meltdown neon hot pink. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to swatch this. And of course, we got our glitter in there. Yes. And don't forget that a lot of his hair colors are UV reactive, which I love. It's one of my favorites. I mean, I love all colors. We know this. One of my kiddos just asked me what my favorite color the other day was. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I have one. It's like, I love them all. He's like, same. This one I was super excited to get because I almost forgot about it. So this is the UV Reactive Twilight Pastel Neon Periwinkle. I have a thing for periwinkle. It was one of my very first rainbows. I did a rainbow with periwinkle. And yeah, so I'm really pumped to try this and see how this comes out. So pretty. Don't mind my nails, all right? I got a lot of life I'm living over here. And I'm just proud I showed up today. What are you proud of today? Please comment below. We should all be proud of ourselves, no matter how big or how small the accomplishment. The brand new day, we got this. So here's our, oh, nope, there's still another box after this. So here's our UV Reactive Nebula, which is a pastel neon lavender. Purple is just one of those colors that has my heart. So does blue, so does green. Yep, see it once again. Oh my gosh. Oh, we still have one more box. It's like Christmas. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy. Just seeing these colors makes me so happy. I believe all of the packaging is going to kind of be see-through from now on. I'm pretty sure on that. So I think this is like maybe the older packaging. Now in this box, we should have the updated Tide Pool, which I'm really excited to compare that one. Oh yeah, I bought these too. I also bought some of his Blurred Vision Ghost Vivids collection. He's got brushes on there. Check out his merch. It's super sick. Yeah, I wanted to support him. In the first box that we did, he sent us so much extra than what I ordered. I just could not believe it. And I forgot to show you guys, when I did the most recent hair transformation, I did use the CHROMADADDY cape on her, and I wish I would have taped that. But yeah, he's got really awesome merch. So yeah, in solidarity, I went, like I said, I got a hat. I'm excited to show you guys that. So yeah, aren't these awesome? So this is kind of just like straight there. And this one's like a little more funky. Oh my gosh. Yes. So pumped. I don't know if I'm going to use these today. I kind of want to use them on one of our big surprise transformations. We're going to be doing so much hair coloring. It's awesome. Okay, here's Headliner. I was excited about this one. I'm excited about all of them. But yeah, here's Headliner. This is like what, a fuchsia? Yeah, neon fuchsia in collab with @Purple Patty. This color is so pretty. Just look at that. Neon fuchsia. Here is what is supposed to be the updated Tide Pool. This is another collab. There you go. If you're curious about all of these collabs and you don't want to like have to come back to this part of the video, like I said, I'll link his Instagram below, or if you follow me, I'm following him, you can find it that way. But either way, he has all these collabs up on his site. So yeah, this is a neon teal. Yeah, this is the updated neon teal, so it should be more pigmented, and it's supposed to lean, I can't remember if it's more green or blue, but we're gonna find out. And of course, you know I had to get the rest of the Crystal Chaos collection. So I got her UV Reactive Crystal Light Pastel Neon Chartreuse. I believe we got her Crystal Chaos, but this is her Crystal Light. So it's another collab. So excited about this one. And I love me some yellow. I used to be so scared of yellow back in the day, but once I used it, it's like I was just obsessed. Especially when it has like a lot of contrast. Honestly, I just think yellow just makes everything pop. But here is his UV Reactive Glowworm Pastel Neon Yellow. Look at that. That's insane. Really burns the retinas. I just think it makes it even better that he's such an amazing human being and he just really puts everything into his product. This is our final one, which I think is just so cool. So it's another collab and it's Minty Bee. Isn't it cool? It's making me hungry. Look at that. So Minty Bee is another collab. Anissa the Hair Alchemist. Reminds me of a show that made me sad once upon a time. Ultra Pastel Neon Mint. That's going to be fun. And this is his 6 ounces. I think a lot of these I got were 6 ounces, but they go up to 8.5 ounces and as low as 2.5 ounces. So I like that you really have a good choice there. Nothing is over $20, so really affordable. There's payment plans, which brings me to one very important thing I just wanted to go over with you really quick. For any of those that you were wondering in the last video, he does ship all over the world, you know, other countries. What happens is there is a $60 placeholder fee. And this is for international shipping. So if you're in the United States, then shipping is different. This is for international shipping. What they do is that $60 placeholder fee, as soon as they print the shipping label and buy the international shipping, whatever that cost is, they use that $60 for that. Now, if it's under $60, so say your shipping fees to wherever you're living internationally, if that's under the $60, then they refund you whatever that difference was. Now, that being said, if it goes over the $60, then they will cover that. So basically, if it goes over $60, you're covered. They're not going to charge you anymore. But if it's under the $60, you are going to get that refunded. And I can say from personal experience, as far as shipping, normally after I place an order, they're on it right away. It's shipping right away. And anytime I had any questions, I was able to just ask and I get an answer. They're really, really on their game with that and with customer service. It really strives to hear each and every individual, which must be so difficult, honestly. And on top of that, he's always creating. There's always something new. Like, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. So yeah, I definitely am just so in awe of this creator. But I just really wanted to clarify the international shipping. Hope that helps in some way. Like I said, all information is also on his website. And also don't forget that code link below, Jane Doe, will get you 15% off. For swatching today, I kind of have two sets here. I have the ones he sent us, which was so thoughtful, by the way. So if you're watching this, thank you again. So he sent us some level 10s, and then I had some that were just a little bit more platinum. The tone of your hair really makes a difference. You got to really think about the base color of your hair. I think we did one video with a pink where we swatched that on 5 levels. You can really see the difference in the tones. And today I am going to be swatching on my MANIAC mesh. So if you see me using this in the video, I really love telling people about this. You get like 50 sheets in here. This is only the second pack I've bought. I use it for hair and swatching and all kinds of things. It's literally like this light mesh. It's washable. So you can get like more than one use out of these. I've been able to just rinse these off and reuse them. Really nice for me when I don't want to mess with the plastic, when I'm doing like, you know, rainbow hair or just any kind of hair really. So I'll go ahead and link these down below as well in case you want to check them out. I usually try to link any products or things that I mention or use down below in my videos. If I do ever forget anything, just go ahead, comment, let me know. All right, let's get to it. First up, we got Silver Vice because I'm super excited for this. Oh my gosh, look. It's so glittery. I should have made sure to squish these around a little more. That's one thing when you get like a hair color or a product, you should really try to mix it around. But I forget to do that sometimes. I love this consistency. Oh, it goes on so well. It really saturates, but still gets through to every strand. The pearly silver, he calls it. So stunning already. Look at that. Really excited to see how that turns out. Yeah, I would probably go like this just to kind of, you know, make sure everything's kind of mixed around from shipping and everything. Since these are collabed from the same person, I really wanted to put them next to each other. So this is our neon hot pink. And I am going to get the black light out so that we can see. Oh, wow, look at that. Ooh, so smooth. I just tried to whistle. Didn't work. Oh, this is pretty. Well, bam, look, almost all of it. So there's those two. Here is our UV reactive twilight. This is pastel neon periwinkle. My lights kind of almost seem too dark today. Sorry about the little bleach speckles on here. Wow, look at this. This is gorgeous. Oh yeah, so pretty. Twilight's such a good name for this. I can't wait to see this under the UV. Look at that. So pretty. This is Nebula. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it just got all over my mirror. It's all over my light mirror. It's worth it. It was worth it. Look, see it all? Oh my gosh. Oh, look at it. Wiped right off though. We're good. It wiped off. Easy peasy. Looks like it's never even there. I guess I'll be putting this one on with my hands. Let's see now. Ooh. Well, it feels really nice. This is this pastel neon lavender. Now, speaking of that, we don't know like what the color, ultimate color is going to be until, you know, you rinse out and dry. These types of things, it can end up being much lighter and stuff like that. Kind of like how when your hair is wet, you'll think it's going to be darker than it is and it comes out really light. With that in mind, I did mention in the last video, but I should probably bring it up again. His pastel neons and stuff, he did mention to me specifically that they are still very pigmented. They're just less pigmented than his straight up neon colors. So that's just one thing to know because, you know, some pastels are extremely light. One of you did comment in the last video that the peach came out a lot more vibrant on your head and you did have to lighten it by washing it some. So I just thought I would make sure to let you know again that if you're looking for a lighter pastel, you might want to go with, he has this Ghost. It's a clear diluter, so you can lighten up your shades. But if you're at home and you don't have that, you can use any kind of like white conditioner and stuff like that. Just know using a conditioner isn't going to have the same effect per se as using with any brand. Using, you know, their own brand of it, it would just usually work better with that hair dye. But I've seen other stylists comment that they use his hair dye along other hair dyes as well as by itself. And they love how versatile it is. It plays well with others. You know, you can mix, match, you can layer. He just puts so much thought into this. I'm telling you, if you go on his social media, especially like on his stories, he really lays out like the science and what he does and how he does these colors. So this got a little messy, but I am obsessed. Honestly, these two are stealing my heart at the moment. We are going into spooky season. So now he says you can process for 20 to 45 minutes at room temperature. I like to sometimes leave mine on a little longer. Leaving on colors like this a little longer, you know, these are meant to stain the hair. They're semi-permanent. By leaving them on longer, it gives like the color more time to soak, maybe giving a little more depth. But if you're looking for something maybe not as dark, then yeah, then definitely leave it on like less amount of time. Because the longer you leave it on, it's just going to, you know, help it really cling to the hair. I think I'm going to swatch this peach, please, just to compare to like my other swatch. All right, Crystal Light. This is Pastel Neon Chartreuse. One of the ones I've been also excited about. Ooh. That one's just a little bit more liquidy. If it's ever something like you feel like it was way too liquidy or anything like that, just message him. He'll make it right. They'll send you another one. No problem. No issue. It's awesome like that. I have a feeling I'm really going to like this one. I don't know why I act like there's going to be one I don't like because I'm seriously obsessed. So this one is a little bit liquidy. That is probably going to be my favorite color, man. I'm not going to be able to pick a favorite. I do try to pick favorites. Oh, see, because then I instantly fall in love with this. Looks like the yummiest banana. I don't even know. Artificial flavored banana. It looks so yummy. So in love with this. This is the Glowworm. Pastel neon yellow. Ooh. Oh, I just love this so much. Eee. Need to say that they're both UV right on the packaging. I looked such a long time for a yellow like this. I did find some that were similar, but I wish that I would have had this at the time. But now I'm glad it exists. I haven't even obviously seen it done yet, but I can already tell I just love that. Audacity. My mom, rest in peace, she really loved sunflowers. That was her thing. So when I saw this sunflower yellow, it just made me smile. I've been looking forward to this one. These just inspire me every time I get on the color. Oh, I don't like that I put so much on here, though. I feel like that's wasting it. I think a little purple hair dye just snuck in there somehow. Right there. There's a little culprit right there, and he latched on to the end of this. Oh, my goodness. Even though a dark purple would probably look pretty sick with this, along with other colors. Oh, my gosh. I really like this. There's a lot that goes into like color theory and stuff when you see like these hair artists doing like all these vivid colors and stuff. So it's definitely something fun to research. And like I said, I'll continue to keep making videos. If there's anything you guys want me to cover, just comment below. Okay, vintage peach time. Oh, this is another one I've just been going crazy wanting to try. Ooh, vintage peach. Toasty tangerine. Vintage peach toasty tangerine. Just in time for fall. Really excited to go check the comments and see if one of you has gotten to try this yet. But just in case you haven't, or maybe you already swatched it, but now we will have it as part of the collection here as well. Toasty tangerine. Oh, this is just reminding me of something super nostalgic. This is all fragrance free. So if you're like me and you have health problems and stuff, there's no fragrance in here. So you're good to go on that. So for these ones, I want to do the Minty Bee Pastel Neon Mint. I want to do that on this level 10 and then this more like platinum. You can kind of see the two different tones. I want to check those out on 2. And then this guy over here is our Tide Pool. This is the updated Tide Pool. So the one that I used before on my hair and on my hair was not this one. So I'm really excited to also check this out, see what is up. I can definitely already tell a difference in that one. He said the first one was just too similar to a shiver, I believe. And this one is supposed to be more towards like Pulp Bright Aquatic. Here's our Minty Bee. This is just so fun to look at. I wish I would have had this when I did my pastel rainbow hair. Pretty. One is the more platinum. I guess maybe I should have just put that on there. With my cognitive issues, I would have forgotten which one was platinum. So let me just put black. All right, we're coming for a Tide Pool. Oh, this is definitely like a whole different tone here. Woo! Friends. Wow. Look at that. That is so stunning. This is UV Reactive Tide Pool, Pastel Neon Teal. And that's what he was saying about his pastels. See how they are very pigmented. Like I said, you never know until it's washed out and dried. They can come out way lighter than it looks still. And obviously, the color of your hair has a lot to do with it as well. If I have like super yellow hair and I'm going to put blue on it, it's obviously not going to come out blue because yellow and blue make green. So it's things like that you got to think about. Oh, look at it. This is yummy. Now, this one is definitely pastel. It's pigmented, but you can tell it's going to be like a really sick pastel. I really love this. But I like that the level 10 has just had that hint of depth in it. So if you were to like bleach your own hair super like white platinum, depending on like the condition of your hair, colors might not adhere to that as well as being like a level 10. I hope that makes sense. So, but obviously if they're like super light pastels, you want to get as close to that level as possible. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Like, especially if your hair is platinum with like a lot of damage, then yeah, you're gonna have trouble with it letting anything stick to the hair because there's like no pigment in the hair at that point. I'm so excited to see how these all turn out. I really just want to swatch this peach. This is our peach, please. This is what is in my hair. I still have a tiny bit left in the other package, but yeah, this one is what I have going on my hair, even though it's more faded. Bam, bam. This is actually the color that one of you had mentioned that it was just a little, it was too bright and that you had to wash it to kind of tone it down. So yeah, for anyone watching, this is that color. And like I said, also the color that I have on my hair. This is just giving me just dusty peach. He really nailed this color. I don't think there's another name that could go with this better. So stunning. Give me this with that new Miami. All right, then we have our headliner. This is our Neon Fuchsia. It looks like a flower. It's pretty. Yeah, he mixes all of these batches himself. And I just think that is just the coolest thing. I'm obsessed. And I just love knowing how things work and, you know, really educating myself on stuff. And it's just something that I enjoy. It's just nice to have somebody that shares their knowledge of what they're doing and their entire process of this. You know, I just can't say enough good things, honestly. So these were our last two colors. Now that I see these side by side, I am kind of obsessed with this. So comment below. Is this a thing? Because I think this might be a thing. That I'm going to go ahead and let these sit. Honestly, for me, I'll probably let these sit for an hour and then I'll rinse them out with cool or cold water. That's just your best bet for no bleeding, no color transfer, and also longevity. On top of that, using products that help protect your hair from UV light and just kind of protect your hair in general is also going to be your best bet for prolonging the life of these colors. On that note, if there's a color that, like our friend, you know, commented in the last video, the color is too intense, you just go, these are semi-permanent. So all you got to do is just go ahead and wash or clarify your hair until you get it to that tone that you're wanting. And that's with just semi-permanent colors in general. I do also have this KERACOLOR Fade Effect color fading shampoo. It's like a vitamin C color fading shampoo that's supposed to also give your hair some moisture. It's specific for direct dyes. I'll link this below. I used it on my Halloween hair a while back in a video, and it did a really good job, I thought, of just really lightening those colors. It's the peach that's in my hair right now. Oh, look at that saturation. Look at that. Obsessed. Thank you again, CHROMADADDY, for everything that you are, everything that you do. We thank you. So I realized after I processed these that I didn't swatch these realistically. When you go to a hair salon or you're going to do your hair and you squeeze that tube out, the color that's been sitting like at the top or whatever, that's going to go in with more hair color. Like you're obviously not going to use just the tiniest bit at the top on your hair like I did with these swatches. And so after I saw those initial results, I'm like, something is not right here, because no matter how long I would have left them in, the color shouldn't have really gotten to some of those levels. So I decided to go back and spend a whole extra day on this. I didn't record all that swatching. I just wanted to get all these finished results for you guys. And then I'll compare those to the ones that we did swatch. So I have them all laid out here, but basically what I did is I did them at the minimum recommended time that he put, along with the ones that I left on for about, what, 2.5 hours, because I did go over his recommended longest time, which was about 45 minutes. So then I went in a third time and I also left some of those colors on for, like, we're talking 6+ hours. Now, this is not a realistic situation. You're obviously not going to go to a salon and sit there for 6+ hours with semi-permanent hair color on your hair. But just for the sake of comparing, I thought it would be fun to see. And for some of us at home, DIYers, or like me with chronic health issues, just whatever's happening, sometimes we do end up leaving these on way longer than recommended. And a lot of that also comes from the fact that they're semi-permanent colors, so they're conditioning on the hair. So we're not as worried about, like, when you use developer or something and you want to get them out right at that time because you're dealing with more chemicals. The rinse out for all of these, even the minimum ones, didn't have a lot of bleeding. Once these kind of set in the hair and they're conditioning, you're not going to have as much trouble as like when you're putting them in the hair and you do like a crossover. But as long as you wipe that off quick enough, you're usually okay. That's when I would be the most worried, is just kind of when I'm applying it and everything. I'm going kind of back and forth on my microphones. I just thought that this one would work better for what we're doing here. I believe that the minimum amount of time is closest to what he kind of has posted as the colors. So I'm going to show you those right here, and then I'll show you everything side by side, because otherwise it'll just get confusing, I feel like. I just really like to make sure that I showcase colors properly for everybody. This is not all of his colors. He has a lot more now, but you'll just see there where it says pastel, he's got the quotes. That's just kind of a hint that his pastels are still super vibrant. And then he's also got his ultra pastels now, which is like our Peach Please, our Minty Bee, our Silver Ice. We don't have the Dream Dust, the Moon Petal, or the Iridescence yet. I remember him telling me that he had the Iridescence in the making right now. Just so much stuff. And like I said, he's got the new CNY color. He's just constantly coming up with more and more cool stuff. These all got rinsed out with fairly warmer water than I would have used if it was on my own hair or somebody else's hair. And that still didn't affect any of the hair bleeding. Obviously, with certain colors, you're going to have some color drain out. It's not going to like affect too much. Where I live, there is just no cold water yet right now. So here is our Minty Bee left on for the minimum amount of time. I am absolutely obsessed with this. He really nailed it. It was just like a true mint. I went through this phase, I think it was before I even started my YouTube channel, and I was on the hunt for the perfect mint. I just kept getting ones that were more leaning towards blue and stuff like that, more of like a teal, which is totally fine. And if that's the kind of vibe you're going for, one of my favorite things about his hair dye is that they mix really well. You can layer, blend, create your own color, but they also play really well with other colors. So that's something to keep in mind. But for me, I think that this is just the perfect mint. I'm absolutely in love. So yeah, his ultra pastels do lean a little bit more pastel than just his regular pastels, but no matter what, they're all packed with pigment. I'm obsessed. If it ever feels like too much, just go ahead and put some of that diluter in there, some of that clear ghost hair color, and you're good to go. That was the mint one at like minimum level. And I actually have like 4 versions of that, so I'll show those ones next to each other. But for our next one, the Crystal Light, the first one was left on about 2.5 hours, this one, and this one was left on like just a minimum 15 minutes. You can really see the difference there. I feel like my lights are almost too bright. But showing off the color better. I feel like my light was too bright and it was glaring some of the colors. There, yeah, now you can see, I feel like you can see it a little more. You can see this one that was left on a little longer. It's just got that little bit more intense. And you can always just put like a drop of whatever, green, yellow, if you want to brighten it up or do something different. The actual Crystal Chaos is super insanely bright. You will not get lost. I searched a long time to find like highlighter neons, and this is the first place I've really found them. So thank you, CHROMADADDY. Here, I'll show you guys the mint now that the lights are a little bit less bright, yeah. So same with our glowworm. I only have 2 versions of that. So this one right here is the one that was left on 2.5 hours. And this is the one that was left on like only 15 minutes. Look at that. And that's so bright. These are going to be so crazy in the black light. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Here is our Audacity at just the minimum recommended time. It has so much depth. We really nailed this sunflower yellow. This has a special place in my heart because it really is just, you know, giving sunflower. You can see it like against my neon. Such a perfect fall color. I bet this would just rock with the vintage peach or just really any color, but I really like this Audacity. So this is the minimum, about 15-20 minutes with that. This is the Audacity that got left on way too long. But I want to say it's also one of the ones where I believe the tone is darker because the color, better to show you. So when we first opened these, or when I first opened these, sorry, it's like you guys are here with me hanging out. So you know the hair color that sits like right in the tube there, and from just shipping and things like that, what I bet happened is that that color, some of it kind of settled. So when I went and all I used on the first swatch was just that hair color that was right in there, instead of pouring it into a bowl because you're going to use it, I feel like that kind of dumped extra pigment that it wouldn't normally have. So just keep that in mind with this one. I don't feel like this is what would happen if you left it on an insane amount of time. But yeah, here's them compared. So this is just regular minimum time. This is our first swatch that was left on 2.5 hours. It might have that much depth if you left it on longer, but I feel like that is just not realistic unless maybe you layer it, like dye it and then just layer the color on top. Just a lot of pigment that had kind of stuck at the top. Why do I think that? You're going to see why when you see the rest of them in a second. So here is our vintage peach. This is it left on our minimum amount of time. Isn't that just like a gorgeous, it's like a copper. Again, like perfect for fall. I think this is just the coolest color. There's so much you could do with it. The ideas were really endless once I saw this result. So pretty. This is it for like the minimum amount of time. This is it at 5+ hours. So this wasn't the very first swatch that we did. This is, but it did sit over 5+ hours. Look at that. Like I said, I'm not saying to leave it in 5+ hours, but you could layer it or do things like that. It's just to kind of give you an idea. And it was also me trying to figure out why the first ones were so much darker. So here is our vintage peach, the very first swatch. So this one was only left on 2 hours. The one you guys just saw was left on 5+ hours. So keep that in mind. Ready? Bam. Look at that. I got mixed around. Now you can see what I mean about the pigment must have stayed the top from shipping and stuff. Must have settled. This one was only in for 2 hours. This one was in for over 5. And the one for in over 5 hours is significantly lighter, and it matches more up with the tone of the 15-20 minute swatch. 15 minutes, 5+ hours, 2 hours. It just isn't adding up, right? So that's why I went ahead and did all these extra ones. So your results are probably going to be more like this, unless you were like extra layer. I can't see it getting to this tone just from leaving it on your hair long. But stunning color, right? Oh my gosh, I love it. So here we have our original headliner, and then I went in and did another minimum amount of time headliner because I didn't want you guys to see the first headliner and think that that was the color if there was a chance that it wouldn't quite be that tone. I went ahead and did another one for you. This is the one left in 2 hours where some of the pigment might have been a little bit too pronounced from the top of the tube. And this is the one though left in for a minimum amount of time. Still is pretty close, just maybe not as deep. So yeah, you might achieve that layering this on. But still, just with the minimum amount of time, look at that depth of that hair. So that's pretty honestly spot on. I did do some kind of like mini color melts for you guys too that I think are pretty neat. I did the same thing for the Miami, especially because that one is so insanely bright. I really wanted to make sure that we had an honest representation of the tones. So here's our hot neon hot pink Miami, one of his newer ones. This is it in for the minimum amount of time. Still so pigmented, so bright. Stunning color. This is that same color left in for 5+ hours. This is the color that goes in collab with the silver. 5+ hours and minimum amount of time. Yeah, that one works very well no matter how long you leave it in, huh? Now this is the one left on for only 2 hours, but I feel like got a little extra pigment kick because you can see it's just got a lot darker of a tone than the other two. But yeah, if you wanted to layer it on, you can really see what's capable of. He also has pigment juices for some of his colors, so you can add more pigment, which would be, I can't even imagine what you could do with that. So cool. All right, next is the collab. The silver is super sick, but once again, I'm glad I went in and redid more swatches because the first one was not a good representation. It definitely didn't remind me of the silver. So here is this silver left on for the minimum 15-20 minutes. I don't want my blue light to affect the color here. Is that not the most epic, spot on silver, pearly silver, he says. I mean, come on. And all of the hair feels so, like so healthy. Look at that. And this is the collab with the silver. So these two, and I believe that Tani Cosmo, I believe she posted a picture and tagged him using these two colors together on somebody. So you should definitely go take a look, see. But that silver is sick. So now here's the same silver left on for 5+ hours. Like I said, not realistic in a salon, just for example. So boom, look at that. So this is the 15-20 minutes and this is the 5+ hours. And see, it's just got a little bit of a more darker, ashy steel or gray. It's still in that silver family. Here's the next one that was super obvious that I should have distributed out the color better before I used it. Bam! Look at how purple this was, and that was only 2 hours. And I was like, oh, that's not right. I was like, I know there's no way leaving that on 2 hours should have had that much of a purple tone in it. There's just no way that's possible. And I was right. This one in the middle was 5+ hours. Seriously, it was overnight. I let them sit as long as possible. This one was only a 15-20 minute. You're not going to get this color from leaving it in too long. But yeah, still stunning color. Just kind of ignore that. It's just there for an example. Ooh, these Tide Pool ones are fun. Let's do the Tide Pool last because that one and the mint one, I have like 4 swatches of each. All right, now these ones are another that were just super obvious. So here is our Twilight, our Periwinkle, one of my faves. This is left on for the minimum amount of time. This one was probably more like 30 minutes. I know I went over. This is more what you're going to get from the Twilight, which I love this color so much. Now this is the first swatch of the Twilight, and this is definitely not what you're going to get. Even if you left it on long, it's just way too much pigment that got settled in there. You can tell. So don't freak out when you see this difference. But here was our first Twilight. Doesn't even look like the same color. But yeah, so this is like just from the pigment that sat at the top. I figured once I did the other ones and like the vintage peach and I saw this one that sat over 5+ hours and this one. So I did this original Twilight. I knew I didn't even need to do a 5+ hours because this is just so obviously the same issue I had with the other ones. Just make sure you mix it up. But this is the color you're going to get, which I love. Now we have our Nebula, which is our more like pastel lavender. This is another color where I just dreamed of having lavender hair, and I would always picture either dark or light going like an ombre. I still haven't gotten that hair yet. We'll have to put it on our bucket list. But this absolutely nails the lavender color, I think. And once again, this one was the same as that, so about 30 minutes, not 15-20. And here is the other one. Wow. See how much pigment? I'm happy this happened, though. I think it's a good reminder to mix your color. Make sure. All right, now Tide Pool, which I know we've been waiting for. So this was our original swatch of the Tide Pool. That is the one that I put in my hair. It's leaning a lot more blue. They went in and reformulated and added more pigment and went a little bit more towards green. They were going for like a Pulp Bright Aquatic. So now here is the Tide Pool left on for the regular minimum amount of time, about 15-20 minutes. This to me is giving much more teal. All right, now this is it left on for 5+ hours. It definitely takes on more of like the green hue. And like I said, this is over 5 hours that was left on versus 15, 20 minutes here. So that one definitely shifted more. This is it mixed with Ghost for minimum amount of time, which is his clear diluter. So this is basically, I pasteurized this new formula, Tide Pool, and it gives it definitely more like a light blue situation. This is his Shiver from our first video. And I feel like, yeah, that one lightened kind of mimics more of like our Shiver blue. So that's if you were to go like half and half. I didn't put a lot of Tide Pool into this to dilute it down. And yeah, this is our minimum time. This is 5+ hours, takes on that kind of tone. Now this first one shook me. It's actually the one that caused this chain of events, because I took one look at the Tide Pool and that Vintage Peach and I went, it doesn't matter how long you leave them on. It should not be that huge of a color shift, you know? So here is the first Tide Pool that was only left on 2 hours. So look at this compared to the 5 hours. That just didn't quite compute, right? For this to be on over less than half the amount of time, like, and for it to be that big of a difference in how dark it is. Yeah, so that's when I realized, I'm like, it had settled at the top in shipping or just whatever storage probably. I feel like you're more realistically going to end up with one like something like this. Here's our Peach Please. I didn't see the point in doing this any other differently. It came out of the packaging just about the same as it always works, so I didn't see any point in messing with that one. We've worked with it a lot. But this is the original swatch of that. Nothing too crazy there. Here's my little blends. These were only left in minimum amount of time, like 15, 20 minutes. It feels so soft because I wanted them to be a little lighter. But this is our headliner into our Miami. And this is actually our Audacity. This one isn't UV, but I did go ahead and like smudge them and blend them together to just kind of get an idea of that. And look at how well these colors just blend into each other. Look at this. You can see that beautiful orange, how the just blending lines, they just smoothed right into each other. And I did all these extra ones by hand, and my hands are not stained at all. I'm not saying he recommends that. I'm just saying that that's how I did it. And the consistency was great. I didn't have any staining. I did these by hand and it came out so smooth. At least I think so. Here's the back side of it. So that's headliner Miami, and you can see how light the Miami is. Like I said, I didn't leave these in very long. It was just to get a quick example. Here's our other one. This is a mix of Twilight, Tide Pool, and Nebula. I didn't blend these ones on purpose as much. I just kind of threw them on here. The other one, I purposely went in and did my blending technique to see how they would work together and like, you know, create other colors. So this one, I didn't do that as much, but they still blended really well. And this was left in such a short amount of time. Like it didn't even have time to take to some of these hairs, especially because these were more platinum. It's harder for color to stick to some of those over-processed hairs that come on these really light swatches. I think that this is a pretty good representation of those three. All right, now the fun stuff. You know what? I showed all the other ones up close. I might as well just do the green ones up close. Really. Here's that original mint I showed you guys. And I'm not sure why, but I basically just did another one. I think it's because I did it on a different tone of swatch. Or maybe I just wanted to make double sure. Nope. So yeah, that's pretty consistent in the color. Those are like really, really similar. Minimum amount of time. And then this is the mint left on for 5+ hours. So none of the extra pigment from the top of the package in this swatch. It was just left on 5+ hours. So that would probably be another one where if you layered this on top, you'd probably get closer to like that tone. I really love this. I cannot wait to use all these. So yeah, that's that in the 5+ hours. Now our original 2 mints, I did one on the level 10, which is just a tinge natural yellow in there. And then I also did it on like the more white platinum. Now remember, this is where it had probably too much pigment. You can see that there is a difference in the color between the white and the yellow. You know, this one's just got a little more green. But I just don't think that these are an accurate representation because like I said, these were done using the hair dye right out of the top. So yeah, there's our 5+ hours here on the end, which does slightly mimic that on the end. And yeah, here's our platinum. And I feel like that's to be expected because everyone's tones of hair is like different, you know? All right, so let's go ahead and look at these all next to each other and in the sun and in the black light and all that awesome stuff. Okay, so here's them side by side here. NTB at the minimum amount of time, and then the 5+ hours, and then this was the platinum and the level 10 original ones. So I would just look more at like these right here. And then here is our Crystal Light and our Crystal Light 2. This one was the first one we did, left on 2 hours, and then this is the minimum amount of time. And this is the original Crystal Chaos right here. You can see how bright that one is, and this is the Crystal Light, so it's purposely less bright. Then we have our Glowworm original and the one that was left on minimum time here. Audacity, look at that difference. That's crazy. So this is the original one that I think had too much pigment. Minimum. Same here, Vintage Peach, 15-20 minutes, 5+ hours. I think that's a lot more realistic than this first one. It was only 2 hours and it just seems way too dark. There's a little peach in there. Headliner, this is our minimum time. This is the first one. You can tell pigment's pretty intense. Here's our Miami, minimum, 5+ hours, and the first one that we did. Look at how good it works with the silver. This is just so not, I can't sit looking at that because that's just that's just not realistic, but it's there because it happened, and at least we know why. But isn't this, I think this might be my favorite color. It's like, stop. I think I need to do something with those. So yeah, there's those. This is 5+ hours though. So it will be like more of a darker gray than this silver here. If you leave it on way too long. Not realistic to leave it on that long anyways, but just in case you do your whole head in it, you fall asleep, oopsies, it probably will be that. Here's our Tide Pool. This is the one that we pastalized. I just hate my nails. Here's the Tide Pool we pastalized with our CHROMADADDY Ghost, of course. And I know I mentioned it before, but these are fragrance free, so no headaches in case you get headaches easily. Here is our Tide Pool minimum time, which I think is the most accurate representation of what he was going for, of his color, because this is at 5+ hours there. Like I said, you're not going to probably be having to worry about that. And this is the original one, which is pretty obvious what happened there as well. Here's the Twilight and the Nebula. I'm obsessed with those two. Again, I'm so glad that I was like, no, that's not right. I know that that's not how dark they're supposed to be, but I love these. So yeah, I like to think I have my favorites, but I don't know. I can't seem to pick one. Here is the original Tide Pool. It's definitely different now from the original. Here's a Shiver. And as you can tell, it's like more of like a blue. They felt like these two were just too close to each other. So that's why they went in and created this one. And then of course, here's just our cool little rainbows going across the colors that we used them on. Which I think they're so pretty. And then this was the Audacity that I used on this. Here's them in just like the lower light. Look at that. Holy moly. There's the mints all glowing across the board. The Crystal Light, the Glowworm. See the Audacity? Just looks like this really pretty kind of brown, since that one's not UV. Then here's our Peach, Please, which is like Va Va Voom. Love that one. Headliner, look at her. Look at how, oh my gosh, look at the Miami. That's so crazy. But there's more, much more. So there's our kind of different levels of the silver there. Oh, that Tide Pool has really got that UV in there. You can see it's kind of a different kind of glow throughout those ones. And our Twilight Nebula, those are UV. It's really hard to get some of this on UV with the camera. You can see it's kind of shifting colors. So I'll try and get you guys a couple different views of this. Serious glow here. And here's it with kind of like the natural light and then kind of putting the glow. The two that I kind of blended there. All right, here's everything in the lighter forms. Like all these are the least amount of time, 15, 20 minutes. Look how shiny these are, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is only 15 minutes. Leave them on for more like 45 if you want them like more vibrant than this. And remember, the tone in your hair is going to affect these colors. These are all level 10 or platinum. Oh, it's like the wind of betrayal out here. No. Stop. No. Oh my god. Alright, I crammed as many of these on here as I could so you guys can see these here. The silver got hidden. There it is. So pretty. I don't know about you guys, but I have had an absolute amazing time checking out all of these colors. Thank you so much, CHROMADADDY, for creating your brand, for being who you are, and for just how much of your heart and soul you put into your brand. It really, really shows. I hope that you don't forget to go check out his Instagram. Everything's linked below. You can really see how other hairdressers are using his colors in the salon. Just wanted to show you guys that my hat came. It's so cute. I love it. He has it in all these different colors. And I believe he has other types of hats too. I'd have to double check, but I wanted the daddy hat. It's super comfortable. I'm really picky about hats. I want to say it was like 24 bucks. So yeah, there's my hat. I went classic, of course. I do believe that we're going to have to actually bleach my roots before I color my hair next because I did not realize how much regrowth I have. Check out my grays. Aren't they awesome? I'm going to change the path I was going on a little bit. Seeing all these is just kind of sparking my creativity. But we have so much more to do than just my hair. So I really hope to see each and every one of you in the next video. And thanks again, CHROMADADDY. I cannot thank you all enough. Have a beautiful day.